Welcome to the Excel Purpose Show with Karms Fung.
Today we have Lisa Lynn. She got financially free at 34, is an expert in AI. Let's talk.
Hey, Karms, I'm excited for this interview, and I was blown away by your book. And yeah, I had to reach out.
Oh, amazing. Thank you. What did you enjoy the most?
I think the fact that it's the first time when you wrote that at 34 you quit your job, and it's like, what do you do with yourself now? And how do you introduce yourself? And I was like, oh my gosh, that's what I'm struggling with right now. Yeah.
Like the same path, 34.
Exactly. I'm like, no way, this is the first time. And I realized that I couldn't say this out loud with my friends because you can't say this when everybody catches up on Fridays or Saturdays. And I'm like, I can't say this because no one can relate with me until I read your book. I'm like, she gets it. She gets it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a good conversation to have. I'm totally understand you. It is a difficult conversation to have. One, I think money, we don't want to sort of talk about it that
Yeah.
much. It's kind of a little bit awkward, right? But at the same time, if we want to help people and that's the position they want to be in, then we kind of have to share the result we got for us to go, okay, yeah, we have something valuable to share. So, yeah, that conversation, it is a bit of a challenge depending who you're talking to. So what does your friend know about you in terms of that? Do they know you're financially free or how do you roll?
Here's the thing, like I've only like told like a very close number of friends about it because they're comfortable with me talking about numbers, and then we just talk about like our wins and who we use in terms of like I don't know lawyers and deals. Whereas majority of my friends who are still a 9 to 5, I feel like it's a weird conversation because growing up in Southwest Sydney, we're from a certain demographic. Money is a sensitive topic, but lately, my friend, like one of my close friends, she was saying that how they react is on them. It's not on you because you should be able to express yourself because why are you playing small just to make them feel comfortable? So, yeah, and I've only started doing this recently, like literally 2 weeks ago, where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to share my wins, like being financially free. I finally got my properties up and I'm done. I could be done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that is exciting. Like to be able to share the win so that they know someone in their circle have found the way out
Yeah.
and that we're open enough to want to teach them and help them get there. So let's talk through that. Is it through property or some other means?
It's definitely for property, but I think the journey would probably be like, I guess going to those free seminars on a Saturday on a weekend. It's free. You think it's a scam. And I remember saying this to my uni friends back in the day. I'm like, you guys want to come with me for all day free event? And they're like, are you crazy? Like on a Saturday, why would you do that? And
Mm,
I just end up going by myself with my brother. And then from there, we started learning about new terms of new way of investing that if you grow up in Sydney, you know how expensive property is. And then it's like, oh, okay, what is this? And you start going on these YouTube rabbit holes and looking it up, and you realize, oh, wow, there's another way of doing things. So yeah, and I realized that if my brother didn't share this free seminar with me, I wouldn't have gone down this journey. So yeah, now I'm thinking I should be doing this with my friends, and some of them may not be on this journey. That's okay, but I could be helping a lot of other people as well.
yeah. How old is your brother between you guys, the age?
It's a 5 year age gap.
Is he older or younger?
He's older.
Oh, that's awesome. Like he's a cool older brother that like brings a little sister along to things he's found useful.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, he's the one who got me into like personal development and all that kind of stuff, kicking and screaming.
Yeah, so okay, so you mentioned uni. Yeah, I think that was around when I started delving into that stuff. I would say most of my friends at that time is drinking and partying. I was also doing that though. Were you one of the drinking and partying people, even though you were doing personal development stuff?
No, I wasn't to be honest, because I think I went through like personal like struggles early on, like straight after HSC. I didn't realize I was burning out, and then I got sick and all that kind of stuff. But I was still like trying to like, don't worry, I'll power through. I still do well in uni and still go out. But then something was like, nah, I can't do this, and I didn't realize I was getting depressed. And my brother's like, maybe you should go to Tony Robbins and that kind of stuff. I was like. That's all for hippies. Like I remember going to everybody's hugging and stuff and being from a household where we don't hug. It was very confronting. But from there, it's just shattered my like mindset in a good way. Yeah.
I feel the same. We don't hug either. Tony Robbins, I had the same feeling. What was your first experience like? Was it UPW?
Yeah, UPW.
And how did you feel?
Oh my gosh. I remember texting my brother the night before. I'm like, I'm not going. And he's like, you can't. I already told a friend she's meeting up with you in the front gate. I'm like, damn it. I went there and then 5,000 people jumping, screaming, hugging. I was like, oh my God, I'm in a cult. What is this?
Yeah.
But yeah, day I think two or something, I had a breakthrough, which is great because I was whining about how crap my life was with a person next to me, and then I find out the next day that she was going through something so much worse than me, and she was able to have such a big like open mindset, like open perspective on things, and that sort of like changed my way of like, everybody has their struggles. It's like, what do you do with it? Yeah.
How did you get out of the depression?
Um, to be honest, the first one was like listening to Lewis Howes. That was crazy. Like, because I previously mentioned that I had like a illness. I was going through autoimmune and a lot of surgeries with my eyes, so I couldn't use my phone or any technology. So part of the healing process was like, just relaxing and trying to not do anything. So it was the first time I listened to like a podcast and personal development, and it changed me. And I was like, okay, my recovery process, I'm like, okay, let's start using some of the stuff that you read in these books and stuff. And I started buying books and courses and going to these events, these seminars and stuff. So that was my journey. And yeah, a lot of it, to be honest, mirrors your journey in your book, which was like, oh my God.
That's really cool. I love hearing that. Like Lowell's house is really awesome. He's just yeah,
Yeah.
so giving, so loving. He brings in really good guests. Okay. So you think you slowly just got through that whilst you were listening to more positive thoughts and they are replacing the negative ones? Did you go to the doctors? Did you take anything, or was it more, yeah, just consuming better content?
Consuming better content, but I think I still had my old programming where I had to succeed, like steal money, like being Asian, like money was a thing that being kids of refugees is like you need to make money, as much money as possible. So I was like, yeah, okay, personal development, it's great. I get to start my own ecom business and all that kind of stuff. But I think when I reached a point where I achieved a lot of the things I had on my vision board, and each one of them, I felt empty. I was like, what's
Mm.
happening? What the hell?
What were some of the things on the vision board?
Like being on like publications, being on a panel, what else? Winning these awards. I was like, I've
Yeah.
done it, but why do I feel so empty? What the hell? And then one point, I reached a point where I was like depressed, and I think I was crying on a weekly basis to a friend, and she
Mm.
was like, I think you need to go to therapy because I can't help you. Being a friend, I can only listen to you, right? And being biased. So, and I think being where my family, we don't talk about like when you talk about therapy, it's like you have to be crazy or something.
Right. I
So
think
I
that's where Asian categorize
yeah.
yeah, therapy as. Yeah, my mum would think I'm taking her to like a crazy house if I were to suggest it.
Exactly. And I had to do it on a download where I just didn't tell them I was going to therapy. They knew I was sad, but they would be so, I guess, weirded out the fact I went to therapy. But after a couple of
It's like
sessions,
as if you're like taking drugs or something. That's what it's like,
yeah,
right?
which was crazy.
I hide it.
Oh my God. But then in therapy, I started realizing, oh my God, there's so much childhood issues you don't deal with that I just hid it away with like succeeding, achieving, all that kind of stuff. It's like, oh crap.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you found that helped you partly.
Yes. Yeah.
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 How long were you in that journey for, like the therapy?
I think a year, every like 2 weeks to a month, I would have a therapy session, just unpacking a lot of stuff.
And you were paying that on your own.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a fair bit of money, right? Like normally, people probably rather put that into drinks than like put it into therapy session.
Oh, because I reached a point I realized that, oh my God, I can set another goal, get there, and then feel like I'm not fulfilled again. I don't want to go
Yeah.
through that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you find the fulfilling feeling, or are you still looking for that?
I'm still looking for that, but I'm in
Okay.
I'm a better place where it's like I don't need to perform. because one of the exercises that my therapist asked me to do was that I want you to text your closest friends that you really, you think that they care about you and ask them, what do you like about me? And then they wrote back and I realized that none of them said anything about my achievements or what I have.
Yeah.
I was like, because I knew that rationally, but I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Until she's like, you need to see it from multiple friends that you really care about, and they none of it said your achievements. So I was like, oh shit, yeah. That was a, I said, I guess it was a turning point for me. Yeah.
Did you feel like you did it? Did you get the claps from your parents for the achievements?
Of course.
Okay, I'm just asking because I
Or
sometimes it's not okay. No, that's good that you got that.
okay, maybe not claps, but more like you
But you
didn't get
got
yelled at. You didn't get yelled at. So that's a clap for my family. That's a clap.
yeah, yeah, you got the acknowledgement you thought you would get from your parents though.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, it's a learned behavior.
Yeah, was that not satisfying in some ways?
It was, but then you realize it only lasts like 10 minutes and then that was it. And you're striving for 2 years to get here. And it's like, oh, 10 minutes of like, that was it.
Do they put pressure on you to continue to do more and succeed more?
I don't think so. And that's something that I didn't realize that they also changed as humans as well. Like, I think back then, when they came to a new country, it's all about getting as much mo money as possible. And then as they got older, I didn't realize that they also changed their values. And we don't sit down and talk. And I realized that we should sit down and talk to see where we are at. Because I thought, this is what you want for me. This is what I should be doing. And then I actually had a conversation with them after therapy. They're like, no, I want you to be happy. I'm like, well, that's new.
Oh.
What? 30 years of my life, all you told me, like, get as much money as possible, yeah,
Yeah.
just get out. So it's interesting.
I will dive into the financial freedom part because I think people want to know that. I also know what to just unpack this a little bit because it's actually important conversations for us to have with parents and the people that are around us. How did you bring up that conversation to know that the value have changed?
I think it was slowly and gradually, like they knew I went to like Tony Robbins and stuff, so I started talking to them a bit, just a bit, and I
Were they supportive of that?
no, they called my brother to tell him that Lisa's in a cult. I need you to like get her out or something. And then my brother's like, no, I sent her there.
It didn't work.
It didn't work.
She's trying to rally someone. It's like, no, no.
Oh my gosh, because my parents are concerned because I came back and if you ever been to a Tony Robbins event, one of the things that you hug so much to the point where you got used to it. So when I came back, I hugged my parents and that freaked the
Oh,
hell out of them. Because the
yeah.
only
What's
time
wrong
I
with you? You're dying. You're hugging.
literally they asked me, "What's wrong? Are you sick?" I'm like, "What a reaction." So like these small little things, but then I think after the biggest one was after therapy, where I think after 6 months they realized there was a change in my I guess how I am on a daily basis. And they could see, and then I told them like I want to have these conversations that, I've learned from therapy that I need to deal with because if I don't deal with it now, I'm gonna be sad. Like I can't keep on, holding this in. And at first, my parents are so reluctant. I think my mom's more open-minded, but my dad, being like old school, he was like, "We don't talk about feelings. No one's dying. Like, let's calm down." And I was like, "No, if you don't," and I told him like, "If you don't talk about this now, I don't think I'm going to ever have a good relationship with you, like a better relationship moving forward." And that kind of shook him a bit because I'm like, if we don't talk about this now, when I, later on in the future, when I have kids and stuff, how do you think I'm going to talk to you? I can't talk to you now, then it'll probably be never. So, yeah.
Yeah, I had that similar conversation with my dad because he's also very stoic. Like, I
Yeah.
think it's just the dads in that era,
Yeah.
um, probably in the Asian culture as well, because we have a lot of, or maybe it's universal wide. I'm not quite sure because I only know the world as the lens I see it, right?
Yeah.
But I guess it's like the big boys don't cry type
Yes.
saying, right? So the
Yeah.
Asian one is like you don't bleed, you fall, you don't bleed, right? Um,
Exactly.
so yeah, I think anything to do with emotions or hurt, it's like, no, you're meant to just like suppress that and like time will heal everything. It's like, no, you just shove it all inside you. And like there's all this like internal trauma that we have to deal with as adults because it's just like bottles up and we don't know what to do with it because we get judged if we go therapy because you guys think we're like mentally insane now.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
And like, what are you supposed to do with it? And if you don't, it's just like eating away at your soul and you're becoming this like anti-corpse type person walking through the world. And yeah, so it is unhealthy, what we have kind of encouraged as a maybe
Yeah.
culturally or worldly. Um, do you hug your parents now?
We do, as much as we can in this family. So that usually happens when someone goes on holidays. So that's
Yeah, right. There's the moments, right? Yeah,
yeah.
we're a bit like that too. Still navigating that world.
Yeah,
It's not like a
basically.
fully comfort
Oh,
hug like I see Western people do. They
yes.
kind of embrace very lovingly. They show a lot of affection. It's a work in progress in the Asian culture.
Yes, work in progress.
Okay, let's talk about the money aspect then. When did you start getting into property?
I think it was like sh straight after uni, and like my parents thought it'd be a good idea to like, okay, a way for Lisa not to spend all her money is to get into property ASAP. So I bought a like bought an apartment in Sydney, but during the boom, I think in 2013 or something like that, it was crazy, and
Nice.
it didn't really go up that much afterwards. So I was like, gosh. And then everybody around me, like my uncles and aunts, were asking like, what are you gonna buy next property in Sydney? And I was saying, it's so expensive, you can't buy anything. And that's
Yeah.
when my brother like suggested going to this seminar because he's like hearing there's other ways to make money besides negative gearing in Sydney.
Oh
And
my God, that was the worst theory ever. I don't know how that thing got so big. Like, as an accountant, I was like, what the F? Who does negative gearing? You're literally bleeding money out and trying to make it like package it as a good thing. It's like, no, I think only positive gearing is a good thing. Like, it
oh
doesn't
my
matter.
God, I
That
remember.
work. Like,
Yeah, having these conversations with your parents because that's all they knew, and that's how all my other family members invested. So they're like, "What do you mean? It's the only way to do it. What positive?" So we were like fighting against the grain. So in a sense, so yeah, we had to get educated. Yeah.
yeah, I think worldly. Like
Mm.
that was just a real I'm just like rolling my eyes every time I heard it. It's like, what? And people actually believe that it was a good strategy. So anyone hearing this, it is not a good strategy. Do not do negative gearing.
No, don't.
Okay. So did you end up buying additional properties from there later on?
Yeah, so later on, I just sold my no city apartment, and then with that funds, I realized that oh my gosh, with that much money, I could buy two, or in Brisbane if I wanted to. But I bought one, like a block of land for like 380. It was so cheap, like a big block of land, and then I
Yeah.
just built a
That's
rooming
amazing.
house.
You're like in my strategy.
Yeah, I was like, how much is this? Like, what the hell? And then I just built a rooming house on top of it, and I'm like, oh my God, I got rented ASAP. This is amazing. I would never
And
get.
it's a house, which means you don't have to pay the strata fees of
Yes.
units.
Oh my God. All these things like, oh my God, with this much money, all my friends could be doing this. And I remember saying this to my friends. They all looked at me like I was trying to get them to do a scam. I was like,
Yeah.
no, I have proof, man. But no one wanted to, I don't know, delve into it
Yeah, you
anymore.
can't really help people.
So I was like, okay, whatever. And then I just did it again and again. Yeah. That's how I
Yeah.
got out.
Yeah, you're paid of yeah, great. Same strategy. Amazing. High five to that. Yeah. Okay, so people listening to this though, I feel like that strategy actually doesn't work anymore.
No.
Because if I was in this, you agree, yeah?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because Brisbane pricing caught up.
Yeah.
So you kind of missed the boat on that. And that was definitely spurred by the COVID.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people moved away from Sydney because everything just got expensive and people
Mm.
started moving to Brisbane. And that made the housing market there
Yes.
just boom really quickly. So yeah, that strategy doesn't work now, but there is a new window open, Lisa, isn't there? Like in this AI
Yes.
economy now.
Yes.
It's just like the housing strategy that like that's the same eyes I'm seeing it. It's like before when I was like investing in Brisbane, you probably feel the same way. It's like when you're buying it, you're like, oh my God, like,
Yes.
like the possibility that you're in this thing and nobody else is seeing it. AI has that same feeling to me right now, except more people is aware of it. In but not many of us know how to navigate this new world because it's new for everybody. There's no real historical data we can go to, like property. We can kind of like historically go, okay, yeah, I can see the trend and what is going to work, and I can crunch the numbers and it makes sense. In this AI era, we don't really have that because we're all walking in new. What's your feeling towards this, and what have you tried so far that you feel like we should go towards that path?
Oh, it's the same with property. It's all about like just exploring what's out there first. Like people talking about like watching a YouTube clip or something like they mention like Open Claw and like Claude co-work and all that kind of stuff. And you're like, okay, what does that mean and how do I use it? So that's like the whole thing with anything. You just have to be curious enough to like, what is this thing? How does that apply in my situation? So right now, it's the easiest way to make money, I believe, like AI, because anybody could do it. Whereas property, there is a high entry barrier. Like you need a certain amount of money to get in, right? But with AI, you can literally just spend a weekend just learning a skill and then teaching it to friends and family, like running workshops or whatever. So it's a good way to make it as a side hustle and eventually maybe a business. And if not, you don't want to create a business, how do you become more efficient in your job? That's where I'm seeing like people are like, oh, I don't want to open my own business. I'm like, okay, you don't, but you could be more efficient in your work, and that way you could get a higher chance of getting a promotion. Or I've heard there's more layoffs right now. So how are you going to offset this? Are you getting more efficient and getting better outputs? You have to be proactive. You can't be just like, no, AI is not for me, because that's like the worst thing to do. And then you complain about it 5 years from now. So that's what I was
I don't
saying.
even know if they have 5 years to complain. That window might be a lot shorter than that. But let's unpack that a little because I could follow what you were saying. I'm not sure if everyone could. So when Lisa was talking about how it's just like property, it's we're talking about learning something new.
Yeah.
There's different terminology. So both of us going into property, initially we would know nothing, just like everyone else, right? We all start from ground zero. And maybe we can share what our journey was like. But mine was pretty much like, oh my God, I'm going to buy a house. Like, that's not like buying vegetables. I'm not going like a grocery shopping. It's not like a $3 bags of apple, man. Like, this is like all my assets that I'm about to pour um, on this house thing, which I know nothing about. It's all new. None of my friends have done it. And I could lose all my money in a beat, but yet I'm like, this thing could like pave my future. It's
Mm.
the feeling I had. Was that kind of like what you were going through?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay,
100%.
yeah, so we go in with all this fear, but we kind of logically betting this thing makes sense though. So then I spent many of my weekends, in fact, like 2 years, 2 years, like
Yes.
house hunting every single weekend where everyone's going out to play or doing whatever they are doing on their Saturdays. And I'm lining up houses. And this is the time, like, because you were talking 2013, right? So I think it's about like probably in that same period when there's like the phone and the apps weren't all like efficient the day they are now. Well, not all I might have been even earlier than you, so the maps wasn't really there. I'm doing old school map, flipping the book, looking at the addresses, right? And then I have to try and find like which address was aligned to the closest I can get from one property to the next one. And
Mm.
sure, I think later on I had a mobile, but there wasn't like internet usage wasn't like a thing you could just like use that easily. So regardless, it took time to line up houses one after one. How can I get to the next house within 15 minutes so I can see like 4 or 5 houses on Saturday and try to really jam pack that schedule so I can make the most out of this weekend and I have to wait till the following weekend to try and like yeah continuously learn how can I even know what's below market value. How can I know this is going to be a good purchase to ease my I don't know anxiety or like
Yeah.
the decision I'm going to make? Was that like how you felt, or what did you go through?
Well, I went to the property seminar in 2016 and I didn't do anything. I didn't buy anything until 2018 because it's like you said, you just hear all these terms like what's manufactured growth? What is passive income? What's a trust? Like all these things like what the hell? Like you have to unpack it and then you just every weekend or every spare moment that you have, it's like you just have to research about okay, what is manufactured growth? What kind of properties you could do like you need to buy to get these manufactured growth and that kind of stuff. And then I guess going out into like for me it was internet like Googling okay in the forums Reddit or in the program that I joined the I Love Real Estate and it's like what is manufactured growth? Has anybody done this? Like give me some ideas here. So you have to do that research and then until like 2018 it's like okay I'm ready to go and actually look for my land that I can actually manufacture growth from. And that's like, you know, 2 to 3 year journey. So I didn't buy anything for 2 years,
Mm.
but I was getting educated because like you said, it's not buying apples, man. You have to do research because it's gonna hurt if you buy the wrong thing. So yeah, it's all a journey. And this is something that I tell my friends. I'm like, you guys spend so much time planning a Euro trip, but you don't even spend, you know, half a year planning what you're gonna buy for your investment property. It's like to me, it's so weird. So
That is that is such a good framing. I love that. You spend more time planning a holiday than your future life. Yeah. So, okay, this is good because I think it gives people context on like, oh yeah, boom, I didn't just miss the boat. It's like, yeah, would you have got spent a couple of years doing all this research? It's like nothing is an accident. And
yeah.
so the beauty about that right now, as you mentioned, it's like with AI, we're all on the same plane
Yes.
right now. And the learning could be, you could learn a lot just in one weekend, not 2 years. It's like one
Yes.
weekend you could learn a lot. So everyone can win now. Um, so you talked about, okay, they could go down the path of try to build like a business, or they can go down the path of just make their work more efficient. When it comes to, okay, Lisa, where should I even begin? I'm ready this weekend. This weekend, I'm gonna sit down, um, put my time and effort into this AI thing. Where should they start?
This is the first one I keep telling everybody. They ask me what's the best tool to use. I'm like, forget about the tools because tools come and go, and every freaking week there's always a new update. It's overwhelming. So I'm like, okay, have a look at your actual workflow right now, like in business or in your 9 to 5. Like, what's something that you do on a regular basis? How long does it take you to do this? And break it out. Actually, map it out, write on a piece of paper, and then each component of that workflow, ask Claude or whatever AI you're using, like this section here, how can I automate it? Like, is there a quicker way to do it? And then you just automate each section of that workflow first. And then before you know it, you have that whole workflow automated and you save, I don't know, 10 hours of your time each week. And then you just build the next one, the next thing. It's not that complicated.
It isn't. I'm going to break this down for people because I have a feeling that the general public may not catch this necessarily. So when we talk about workflow, I'm from a project background, so like a Lean Six Sigma type background. So I understand that immediately. I'm not sure if people do. So I'm going to use a normal household
Mm,
task we do so that I make sure people get the value out of the podcast, right? So let's say if we want to cook spaghetti for dinner, yeah, like everyone does cooking, everyone cooks
mm.
dinner. So if we're cooking spaghetti, we'll go, what's the workflow of cooking spaghetti? So that will begin with, that will be probably the first task is us going to the shop to buy the spaghetti or open your cupboard and see if you have some, right? Like, do you have the input? Like, what is that thing that you need?
Yeah.
Okay, so once we have, so the workflow, okay, the ingredients. Do we have the ingredients? Right, then we go to, okay, we've got the ingredients now. That's step one. Then two is, well, do we have the recipe? Like, what are the steps? What do we need to do? Oh, okay, we need to boil the kettle or like we need to put the pan on the stove, right? So we're talking about these are the steps that is required. What are the steps required to get to that outcome? So you start with the thing you want and you have a result you want, which is the spaghetti. So let's map out all the steps. That's what the workflow is. We're just saying to do any of the tasks that you are currently doing in your life, what are the steps that is the workflow to get to the end goal. So do you think people should map it out like just on a piece of paper? Okay, these are the steps, or should they just like type it straight into one of the AI? So Lisa said it doesn't matter which tool. I also agree it doesn't matter which tool. However, even though it doesn't matter, let's give them some of the tools so they know. So we're talking ChatGPT, Claude, what's the Google one?
Gemini? Gemini.
Gemini. So and then maybe Grok. So
Yeah.
let's just say out of these four, there's more out there, right? But this is a good start, right? Like pick one of these.
Yes.
Okay, so and in terms of which one, I would say use the one that you're most comfortable with. So if you're currently using one already, just use that one.
Yes.
They are all good in their own respect, but I think the most comfortable thing to strip people of like, oh, I have to learn another thing. It's like if you're using a tool now, just use that one.
Yep. Yep. 100%.
And if you don't use any now, then okay, sure, dabble into the forward, like just log in and just pick one out of which interface you feels most friendly to you, feels most enjoyable to you, and just
Mm.
use that one for now, right?
Yes, I agree. Yeah, definitely. So having like the end in mind, what you want to get out, and I don't know, to use something that's like low risk for you, like something you do in your personal life. Well, for me, maybe it's fitness. Like, okay, I want to lose 3 kilos in the next 60 days. Like, how do I do that? What do I do on a regular basis? So for me, that would look like, okay, Sunday I have to meal prep and reassess what did I eat the week before, what were my pitfalls, and like how do I stop that moving forward? And okay, now I realized that okay, I didn't meal prep, I didn't go grocery shopping. So how do I start? Part of the process is like I need to go shopping on Sunday night for the groceries. That way I can meal prep and that kind of stuff. So that way I will put that in the chat or Claude, where it's a scheduled task, or send me an email, Lisa. You need to buy, I don't know, chicken breast and that kind of stuff as an email. So that way I'm not at Woolies and thinking, what do I buy? Because you have so many things in your mind. Sometimes you can't remember, but if you're able to get it AI to help you with the process, like, okay, here's your shopping list. That way you're not gonna be having these I guess I wouldn't say mistakes, but it's gonna be a better outcome for you moving forward. So yeah, it's just use
Good
something
idea.
that's
I
low
like
stake.
that.
Low stake.
Um,
Use it anything low stake. Even a holiday or something that I hate doing
go
my
search for the cheapest ticket for you to get from
yeah.
here to Paris or something.
Yeah, because I feel like people need that early win to really see, oh wow, AI can really help me. Because right now when you talk about all these big things, they still can't picture it. And if it's a too big of a stake where it's in their 9 to 5 job or their business is too much, what if I make a mistake? So use a whole low stake item instead. Yeah, to test out.
Okay. Uh, let's say people's on board. It's like that's a great idea. So how do they set up the task for to get AI to even send them an email or like a reminder?
It really depends on what app you're using. Because I'm using tool you're using. I use Claude. Claude's
So
the
let's roll with that. Like, okay, they log into Claude. Now what do they do?
Or you to tell Claude like, okay, what do you want to do? Like, what's the your end result? What's this part of?
Let's just assume they want a six pack by summer or
Yeah.
Australia summer. So they
Okay.
have about 8 months left to have the six pack. Right. Let's say that's the goal.
Okay, that's the goal. Then you're like, okay, you sort of know this logic. Like anybody knows who, like you know the logics of how to lose weight. So you have to like work on your diet and fitness, basically. That's not no
Yeah.
brainer. So you're like, okay, all right, Claude, like, can you? I want to lose. I want to get six pack, but in 6 months. And I need to work on my diet and fitness. And you have to think of it like you're talking to a personal trainer at the gym. This is the stuff questions they will ask you, like, what's your training routine look like? What are you eating? Are you tracking? You just have to tell these kind of stuff to Claude so it has an idea where you're starting off. And then you can tell it, okay, for me in the past, I've tried these diets before and I fall off because on Friday nights I have drinks with my friends and stuff like that. So that way Claude knows like, okay, we need to have a contingency plan for that. So you're basically talking to it like a person. And then he can also ask Claude, interview me like yeah, ask me questions like an interview so to help me achieve that goal. Ask me any clarifying questions until you're 95% confident you can complete this task successfully. And it will ask you questions.
And then how does the task get scheduled?
Then you'll be like, okay, this is what we should do. This is the game plan. You're like, okay, awesome. All right. Can we schedule maybe the grocery list to go into my inbox on Sunday night? So that way when I open my box, I can just go to Woolies and buy that. So you can tell him what to do inside Claude. That's the one thing I like about Claude versus the other tools because it's just seamless to me because I'm doing everything in there. So yeah.
Okay, so it is that simple. You know what? I like this example because I did this recently. What I love about Claude is that it's funny and it has no judgment.
Yeah.
So what I did was I did something similar. So last week I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take Claude shopping, right? So I went, okay, we're gonna start looking after our health so that we can have like generate great skills
Mm.
cells that are healthy so that we can have longevity in like the rest of my life, basically. So let's start working on this, right? So I'm like, we're gonna go shopping. So I start going to the shops to buy things that are good for me, which are like the different color vegetables and
Mm.
things I don't normally, that's not normally on my shopping list, like quinoa.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So we have the shopping list, and it's like, okay, Comes, you go in and grab it. Oh, I'm not grabbing all the healthy stuff. And then I walk past the ice cream aisle, and it's like half price for the served ice cream, right? And I was like, what about this? And like I'm taking a picture and I sent it through, and I was like, Comes, like smiley face, like you are testing me. Put the ice cream down and close the fridge.
Oh my God. I had a similar experience with Claude this morning because I haven't been logging into my Claude chat that I have with fitness. And they asked me, I'm like, Lisa, it's been 2 weeks. You didn't log anything. I need to know what's up. I was like, gosh. Because if I need to know that way we can change our game plan if it's something, fundamental, like you got injured or something. I was like, wow. I told him like, oh,
Like he cares about you,
yeah,
right?
I was like, whoa, okay. I'm like, oh, I just had like a moment. I was busy with my property stuff, but that was only just a one-off thing. They're like, okay, back to the original plan then. I'm like, oh, that's pretty good. Like,
It's accountability.
yeah, I was ended up and I told her I still need to lose 3 kilos in the next 60 days. And I'm like, okay, you need to zoom in, Lisa. You need to start tracking on your MyFitnessPal. So it's already proactively coaching me without me prompting because some of the
Yes.
things that I realized in the past with ChatGPT, I think maybe I didn't program it properly, was that it was being very agreeable. So I would say, oh, I'm just tired. And they'll be like, oh, that's okay. It's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah. It's fine. Take a day off.
Yeah,
Just
basically.
enjoy life.
So this is good. So that's what I was saying about AI. Like chat maybe it's a lot better now. I haven't used it in a while, but instead of saying like if you don't want to have that experience with chat with any AI tool that you use, tell it in when you start this goal of yours, like please, I need you to push back or be more constructive, like a coach, like just in case. But from my experience, Claude has it's not
It
that agreeable.
intuitively knows
Yes.
already without you
Yeah.
prompting it. Because yeah,
Yes.
before for chat, I would have to go act as the greatest marketer or something,
Yes.
act as expert in nutrition and this thing. So I
Yes.
have to give it that context for it to kind of stay in character or stay
Mm.
in that person. But it kind of like forgets sometimes. And yeah, I
Yes.
agree with you. It's too nice. Claude, um, I will say it is better than chat right now. But okay, we are recording this thing in April 26th. All right, I'm just going to say that at this moment, it feels better,
Yeah.
but we don't know which tool will come out better.
That's right.
That's actually why it's like it doesn't matter which tool, like they are all
Mm.
going to be racing to be the best.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I agree. Claude is very intuitively great. And it talks to me in a way that I'm actually enjoying the conversation. So I started asking it, I'm like, do you talk like this to everyone? Because you're funny, right? And then it goes, no, I actually just adapt on based on your reactions. Like, oh, okay. So I think that's what makes it enjoyable because it like the more you talk to it, the more it knows what you find humorous and
Mm.
stuff. And it would just like crack more of those jokes or talk
Yeah.
to you in that manner, which is amazing because it is a very encouraging like coach if you're doing it for like nutrition reasons. I found that too.
Yes, yes. So it's like the more you talk to it, it learns about you, which is fantastic because I give it feedback. I'm like, stop being nice, like, and then it will move it forward. Yeah, and at the same time, like, I want you to be a bit sarcastic and that kind of stuff and sassy, and then it's like it reacts that way. It's like you said, I enjoy talking to Claude now, whereas in the past I'd be like, oh, hurry up, get to the point, get to the point, you know. So
Where's I enjoyed that conversation a little bit too much, I think. That I started thinking about, I'm not sure if this is healthy. What if like it just becomes like a friend? Should it be a friend? Because okay, the thing is I bought the ice cream, then I sent it the receipt, and then it was like, oh, that's great. We bought you were on plan, Cubs. Yeah, all those things you bought, that was amazing. And then it's like, what is this? What we need to talk about the ice cream. That wasn't on the list. But it would do like a funny face. It's like, all right, then you can have one scoop tonight and then put the rest in the freezer, you know? Like it's comical. Like and actually I find it amusing. So I'm like, I'm not sure if that's good for my life. What's your thought on that? Like, what if we enjoy the conversation so much we have less human interaction? Is that something you think it could be a danger thing?
I think at some point we're gonna reach that point. That's why I think lately, if anybody's in the personal or business space, people have been talking about a lot about in-person events making a comeback because I think now more than ever we can see where this is heading. Like there's more AI videos and that kind of stuff and images. We can't even tell because I was worried. My parents couldn't even tell one video that was AI generated. I'm like, oh my God, this is so concerning.
Yeah.
So this is where we're heading, and yeah, I think we shouldn't like. This is where someone says like, what if does that replace PTs or fitness like people in the gym? Like, no, it doesn't. But this
Because I can't
helps.
see your form, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Can't see your form. And plus sometimes you need that human motivation and interaction there. And this is for the like for me, it's like for those periods where I know I can't commit to a PT and it costs us money. So this is for me it's like the nice period where I'm not going to be spending money on PT. So, there's 3 months. And then if I want to go to the next level, I think I should hire a PT who's, a expert in the field. So yeah, that's how I see.
That is, yes, that is a good point. For anything we want to learn and get better in our life right now, we don't have to pay hundreds of or thousands of dollars to a coach necessarily to get started
Yes.
if we're
Yes. Yes.
struggling, because you can actually get a really good head start. And then, yeah, once you want to reach next level, that's when you can go to a real person.
Hmm.
In terms of the finance part, just getting back to that, because people's probably intrigued around that. What would you say is the greatest mindset or the way they should think if they are right now not financially savvy or they feel like they don't have that, I don't know, whatever that financial mindset that they need to become in a position where they don't need to stress about money. How did you switch your mindset to that? What can you tell them to help them in this?
I think you just have to like, yeah, like get into like free, like if you have no money to get started, then go to these free seminars. Like they happen like multiple times a year and be around people who are talking about money differently. Because I think that was the biggest thing for me. Because being around my friends and my family who does things a certain way or look at money a certain way where it's a sensitive topic or it should be hard and that kind of stuff, I got used to it. And I thought that was like the truth basically, and there's no other way until you go to these places. You start hearing about how people talk about money in ways they're doing it, and then you start to think, okay, can I do that? You start exploring that, and yeah, maybe Brisbane has, that market has, it's done, but it doesn't mean you can't get into stuff like property, like other states and other ways of doing things, because it doesn't have to be like manufactured growth. It could be just buying something really good, and you just have to get educated about what's out there and then looking at your situation. What can I do with my budget or where I am in life right now? Because I think being someone in their 30s versus someone in their 50s, completely different strategy you should be applying. Yeah, adopting. Yeah.
Did you ever feel peer pressured to buy a high ticket coaching in these free seminars though, where they like lock the rooms?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't, to be honest. And that's the thing, because everybody's worried if you get in there, like, I have to buy something. You're like, no, no one corners you to like, hey, you have to buy my $10,000 program. You can just go there for a whole day and take notes and just walk out. Or halfway. You can leave after an hour. No one's stopping you. It's just the time to get there. Yes, you have to pay for petrol, parking, and lunch. That's about it.
I think that offers people comfort. I think sometimes when people are in that predicament, they have these negative feeling that's like, oh, if they walk into these seminars, that they're gonna get trapped or something, and then they might be worse off. Yeah, I think in general, of course, there are some that I think they're geared in a particular way
Hmm.
that is harder to get out of. But if people go into the session, I think you'll be able to tell immediately.
Yeah.
And one of the greatest things you can do, if anyone goes into a free seminar and then they feel like pressured, here's what I would do. I need to go to the bathroom. Then just go to the bathroom and then leave and then go
Yes.
outside and make a phone call, right? Then you're out. Then you just
Yeah.
disappear, do whatever you want, right? So if you go in just with that plan B escape plan in mind, if that worries you, then just have that. And then you'll feel very confident walking in and out. But you'll probably more feel that you can naturally walk in and out without a strategy in place. But yeah, if you're skeptical, there's one for you.
Oh, I'm glad you said that because that's usually the mindset I have going to any networking events because I'm an introvert. I don't know, just like new strangers. It's intimidating for me. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, okay, what do I do if someone corners me or all that kind of stuff? I'm like, okay, I have a phone call to take, I have a meeting, or I don't know, go to the bathroom, anything. I'm already planning my plan B, but most of the time I just force myself to go and then just give it like an hour and something to see. And then usually I would say 95% of the time I'm there for the whole event. So it's like I think it's like the pre-game when you're going like, should I go? Should I go? And it's like you start having all these, I don't know, not negative thoughts, but like, oh, what if this happens? What if I'm wasting my time? It's like these things. I think that's the mindset that a lot of people get into, like, oh, it's too hard already. You didn't explore it yet. Because end of the day, you have the choice to say yes or no to things, you know? Yeah.
Think that was part of my learning, Lisa. Like going into these things, even sitting through something that I didn't particularly enjoy,
Yeah.
but not being able to walk out, not being able to protect my time or going, oh, okay, I feel rude though, because maybe I sat closer to the front and now they're going to see me walk away, right? So I think each one of these things, even if it's uncomfortable, you end up learning a critical life skill, which is like, oh, okay, in that case, next time I go to one, I'm going to be closer to the back so it's easier to leave. Or like, I
Mm.
don't sit right at the front, so I'm staring at the speaker. So now it's awkward if I leave, right? I think every nuance we learn through these interactions is super
Yes.
helpful in difficult, like different social circles or situation you get into. It's like, okay, I learned these things. And it's so interesting that somehow it ripples through the rest of your life.
Hmm.
You become more confident as a person. Because I was really, really introverted and awkward too, and don't know how to handle a lot of situation. I think younger, I bought a lot of stuff when people sold me things because like I'm like, man, they spoke to me for like an hour. Now feel like I have to buy something, but like I don't have that much money and I don't even really want this product, but I'm gonna buy something anyway. Like,
Oh, I can so relate. There's times where I'm like, I need to send you a thank you gift for like spending time to talk to me for 10 minutes. And then you're like, I realize it's a sales pitch. Why am I thanking people? Like,
yeah.
it's weird. But it's through these little interactions and events that you realize you learn something about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like,
Would be
yeah,
better.
I bought the random cleanser that I didn't need, bought all these items. It's like I see them as like tuition fee, right? Like,
Yes.
okay, you didn't know how to say no then. Okay, next time maybe you don't even have cash on you, you don't have your credit card on you,
Mm.
whatever. Like, so you end up learning, okay, what strategy is going to help me if I get into this next situation? And that over time, you become this person that you can trust yourself to walk into a place and go, yeah, I want that. Or no, that just doesn't suit me. It's like, even if it's your friends, like, will you come and support me on this thing? It's like, no, it doesn't align with me. for,
Oh,
for the
that's the
best.
hardest thing. Oh my gosh. Yeah, when your friend asks us, like, can you come to this? I'm like, no. And just leaving it at no. Sometimes I realize that I would make these lame excuses, and sometimes it's okay to be like honest. Like, you got to protect your time. But it's so hard. I remember the first time doing that, I was like, no, I can't do it. No way. I have to think of a proper excuse if I can't go, but I have to try and to go. So it's like it's such a weird thing. Like what step by step you get better and better about it. Yeah, so
Okay, no, I like this because I think I'm too truthful.
oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think I tell people what I actually mean.
Yeah.
Though I think in a social context, it's actually better to tell white lies. What is your take on that?
Yeah, I think so. White lies. Yeah. In a social context, yes. And this is something that I think I read in a book or a podcast. Someone said that they're trying to be kind, not nice. Because I realized I was being nice for most majority of my life. So nice means like just being agreeable, saying things that, don't rock the boat. And then being kind means saying something that may seem direct, but you're actually helping them in the long term, them and you. And that's such a hard thing because sometimes being kind is hard. Because I remember seeing this the Christo event when he was saying to one of the people asking questions, I don't hear a question. You need to be asking better questions. And people will
Mm.
look at that like, whoa, that's just not nice. Like that's harsh. I thought was like, whoa, I couldn't do that. But at the end of the day, he was trying to teach us like you need to be asking better questions to get better answers. That's it. Because the world time is limited. So if you don't get to the point, you're gonna not gonna get the answer you want. So that's
Mm.
actually quite a nice way to like a kind thing to do for us. Yeah.
I have a real life example. This is what happened. Someone asked me to go to an event. Um, I'm gonna pull it up. How would you handle this? So they have this event. I won't say it, so like, because otherwise giving it too much context. But it's like a couple of $100. And would you like to join us, Comes? If
Is
you didn't want to go, how would you handle that? Like it's like, assuming it's like a friend,
how close of a friend?
not close, like no of them from
No.
an event.
Ah, okay. Do you see it adding value to
Why?
yourself? No.
Like because I've done a lot of this type of work already, so I don't see the value in me going there. Plus, it's quite far away from me. Like I wouldn't drive there.
I would say literally all that you just said right there. Like it doesn't align with me. I've done the work before and it's quite far for me. I'll be just like that.
Oh, so you would say the truth.
I would say the truth in that situation, yes.
Okay, so I wrote, thanks for the message, not for me. I just left it like that.
Oh, wow.
And then, but then I sent a follow-up message, which was like, I also have a great event coming this month. It's like $20, including drinks, with this author that I have, right? Neil
Hmm.
A.L. coming this month. And then so I dropped that in. You want to take a stab what they wrote?
No, I'm curious. No, I can't even guess what did she wrote.
They wrote back, thanks for the message, not for me. Like throw it back in my face. Is that how I should read it? Like, well, that's how I've read it, but I'm not sure if it's meant to be like that. I'm like, oh, just throw it back in my face. Nice.
Oh man, like
Exact same line too.
interesting. But something that I'm trying to realize that, people at a certain caliber, that's how they talk. Because they don't have the time to like give you a long ass message and stuff. They just go direct to the point. And there's something that I had to like come to terms where it's not them. Sometimes it's not them being rude. It's just how their time's valuable, and they typing stuff in that takes time. So just be direct. So yeah. So I'm giving the benefit of the doubt where I don't think they're trying to be an ass or something, but it's just yeah,
Yeah, see it in the positive. That's
yeah,
it.
yeah,
Because that's a line you gave me. That's the safe line, right?
yeah.
But I think that's the interesting part because it's open to interpretation
Yeah.
because you don't get to hear the tone. So that's
Hmm.
where text message comes in play. It's like we could interpret that in all the ways. So it could be like, oh, that's very passive aggressive. But,
Yeah.
but then it will be like, but that's the line you said. You know?
Mm.
So it's actually the safest line
Yeah.
of all the lines without overthinking it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. And it's something that I'm trying to do where I know my closest friends, I get that from my friends because sometimes I just send like very short messages and I think I'm angry or passive aggressive. So I'm like, with some friends, I send them voice messages so they can see that I'm expressive. I'm like, actually mean it. Like, if I can't go to something, you can actually hear it in my tone, Whereas before I'd be like, no, I can't go. Sorry. That's it. Like,
Oh, they're probably reading that like, no, I can't go. Sorry.
yeah, exactly. I didn't even realize that. And it wasn't one of my friends who said this to me. He's like, your messages are so short. I don't even know you're angry. Like, like, and I'm like, I'm never angry. Why would I be angry at you? And he's like, because your messages are one word sometimes or thumbs up or stuff like that.
Yeah. Do you know people get offended about the thumbs up now?
I don't know why. I'm like, I use the thumbs up. It's quick. It's easy. I've read it.
I think they need like, yeah, I still do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm starting to feel that, yeah, it's generally not as accepted. See
Um,
all these like nuances in the social interaction that we have to do. I agree with you. That's a good way though. Short voicemails are really great. Long voicemails are annoying.
uh,
Sometimes I send them and it's like, that was too long. Let's just delete and start again.
I have done too. I'm like, Lisa, you don't need to send them a podcast. Like, it's not necessary.
It's like, what do you feel is a good voicemail length?
Like anything less than 60 seconds. Like you
Yeah,
can
I
get a
agree.
lot in 60 seconds.
Yeah, yeah. If it's like someone can't hear it in like less than 30 or 60-second max, it's like it's too long. No one's listening to the rest.
Yes,
There
basically. Yes.
you go. I hope people found this useful. Is there any last thing you want to leave them?
I think just be curious of anything, like where the world's heading. We don't know. Like we have AI and who knows, robotics and stuff in the future, but you just have to be curious of things and you sort of have to like don't settle about like, oh, this is my circumstances. Be like, okay, what can I do? And can I start exploring that now? And with YouTube, like you don't have the money, YouTube, everybody has access to the internet. So start there. Yeah.
And if people want to know more about Lisa, where can they go?
Um, you can go to my website, like lumispath.co, or just follow me on Instagram where I just share my random things that I do in my life, AI, property, that kind of stuff. Because I realize that the more we talk about this, especially I feel like for women, we don't talk about money enough, and we just get a bad rep for that. And I realize that by talking about it more, we share and learn and grow a lot faster than we just gatekeeping.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. It's
All
so
right.
great having you here.
Thank you for having me.
Excel in life, live your purpose, be free.